Hey, I'm live. I use this live streaming is a little bit easier. Setting up is easier. Don't no need to process the videos. Only I need to two ways to load it up to the podcast. But I also make a podcast. I made a nice podcast about banking and explained a little bit about money, how it works. But let's talk now a little bit more about Elon Musk because this is about Elon Musk, understanding Elon Musk. So I looked at if I look at the stock is okay. Let me check. Let me check. I think it was like almost getting near the 200. Yes, it is 197. So I will make another video later this day, and I show you my analyzing the stock. But if you have seen the previous ones, I told already that the movement will be around 180 and 240, and I said it will be staying there longer than people wanted once. So I think this will be. I thought around 6 months, 3 months, at least 3 months, and around 6 months that it will hang around this. And I maybe will see some spikes down, but it will be around this. So around 200, it will move for the coming time. I think if we can look at negative points, where can it go down? Why it can go down? I think Elon Musk will buy a bank. If it is not for Twitter, then it will also maybe one for Tesla. I don't. I will look maybe up later if Tesla already has a bank. If it doesn't have one, buy a bank. If you have an insurance company, maybe he already has one because of the insurance company. Banking can make a lot of money and it's easy, and you can do some tricks and some other things. And he wanted to do for Twitter, and he had PayPal. He wanted to have a bank and do banking, so start with it. The only problem will be that if he needs money and he has done the money and he needs to sell some more stock, that will push Tesla stock down. I don't mind if it goes again to 150, but I don't think it will go lower. So 150, $140. I hope it can spike down to that and have a chance to buy it at that. But I think it will easily go up higher and higher. Moody's rated it up from junk to normal. That's also good news. That's something that everybody already expected. We see also banking has become a little bit strange because I think the government in America guaranteed all the deposits. So that means the bank has no meaning anymore because that was all that was the where it was tested for the deposits, and now the government guarantees that. So the next step I hope is that the government makes a bank and says in this bank we guarantee all deposits, so move all your money there, and then it is over. And then banking has no. The only thing you have in banking will be hedge funds or investment banks or stock banks or something that. So a bank will be then the real art. I think it's much better. So let's make the government a bank, or use the federal bank or the bank of the country, make their deposit stuff, do all the transactions, the money transactions for salary, for other payments, put them on that bank. That has to be mandatory. You have to put it on that bank because then whatever happened, there is the money. Then people can invest money, if pension maybe, and a little bit of their pension, a little bit of this. They can invest in those banks that we now have. And then these banks will have much more difficult. They cannot create money out of nothing. They don't have the lot of money of the deposits they can misuse. Then they really have to work and have to be honest. And then it is much better. I think these deposits and these normal things of money that now are so endangered, they have to be pulled away from the banking. Let banking do like investment. Like if you have a pension or you have some money you want to invest it, let those people do that. If they want, and if they can make 10% and give you 5%, upfront be honest. Yeah. Not saying we give you 2% and in reality they make 20% or they make 0%, and at the end you don't get your money back. Be honest with that. And I think that because it is so much money business and there's a lot of power there, I think that this will be very difficult to swallow. But I think if if they have to be really safe because they are they didn't do good with the money of the people that put the money there, the investors, that is their fault. And why did Silicon Valley Bank had these problems? Because they thought it was a normal bank and they had these bonds and it have to wait 10 or 2 years. But it was a very, of course, with you see with the startups, they need money. Some they go bankrupt, and not all startups work. They need an active role in the money. And the problem was not that they could do that, and in the beginning that was not the biggest part of their bank, but these people started to use these banks more and more and more. So the most of the money was in these startups, and these startups were very volatile with money, and this money amount became bigger and bigger, and they didn't have a risk manager anymore, and they didn't know what to do with the amount of money, and it went good. So they had a lot of money. They want to reinvest, even they could not reinvest it anymore, so they start buying bonds. And there is when they were wrong, because they bought so much bonds that when it went the other way around and they need to cash, the people cashed out their money, they were not liquid. They could not give this money. So whose fault is this? You can say the Fed increased in 12 months from 0 to 4%, and that was never it's a black swan event. So what Elon Musk said even that they have to cut, not increase by 12, 25 points or 50 points, but cut by 50 points. But I think if I look at it in my way, what I can see, what I understand is that Elon Musk is on the right path. The problem is they increased from 0 to 4%. And did something happen? No, not really. Is there maybe a better tool or other tools that can do this? I think so, there is. And those tools have to be, so maybe this is not solvable with just increasing the interest rate, because now the banks are having problems. The next will be the loaning. I think 20% for a credit card. You can imagine a house loaning gets more, so the value of the houses get more. So everything is this interest rate, these interests, those are tied in the economy and in the people's life. And if you increase them, everything gets more expensive. And we see it with food. It can be, now it is maybe they increase it to follow, but it can also have an other side effect that everything gets more expensive. So they want to get it more cheaper. And what happens? It doesn't get cheaper. Everything becomes more expensive. And what is the reality? What they want? They want to devalue the money, so that the loans they have, the debt they have, will be less, has less value. Remember, $100 had a bigger value 100 years ago than now. Yeah. So what they want is they just want to devalue it more, so that the debt is easy to pay off. So they need to inflate it. So everything has to become more expensive, but that means that everybody has to earn more money, because that is also the big problem. In the old days, one father with a mediocre job could pay for 4 children and can go twice a year on vacation with his wife, has a dog, a car, and they could live from it, from one salary. 4 children, everything was okay. They had a pension, they could buy a house, they can even buy a house, imagine. They pay all the education of the children, the government helped a little bit, but it was doable. Now, 4 children, dogs, cat, car, house, is not possible with one salary. With 2 salaries, it is not even possible. So what happened? The salary is, the money is given by the people is getting less and less and less. And everything gets also now a little bit more expensive. So what they have to do, and this is also the problem in Japan. In Japan, the salaries don't go up, they go lower. Yeah? And the tax goes also more up. So everything becomes more, now we feel it, now everything becomes more expensive. Food gets more expensive. Everything gets 10, 15% more expensive here in Japan. So what they have to do is they have to increase the salary. And the salary, they don't want to increase here in Japan, because not because the companies don't have the money. Here in Japan, they have so much money, they don't even know what to do with it. But I think if we give the money now away in salary raise, this money will be always gone. So they give you rather a bonus. And if you're too mendokusai or too difficult, they replace you with a haken. That means a temporary worker. So you see also here in Japan that all the shine, that is the people that are fixed employees, that they cannot be, almost not be, how you call it, not be fired. And if you are shine, you can have a mortgage, you can have everything. You're financial more secure because you have a guaranteed of a job and guaranteed of income. But if you are a haken, so temporary worker, this is not possible because you're not guaranteed that you keep the job. Every 6 months or every 3 months you get a renewal of your contract. And also marriage becomes difficult if you're a haken, because you don't know if you can keep up the money for keeping up the relationship and financing the children. So it's insecure. So it's all the people wants to have a shine and an employee status, and of course the companies make misuse of it and give you the entry of for shine is very low. The salaries are very low. The hakken is higher, so they say, oh, if you want to earn more, become hakken. That will immediately say that they cannot marry, and they have they will always have the problem of a financial problem. So now also the problem is if you're a hakken, it means you switch from job to job because of course, if they want to cut, they cut first at the hakken jobs. So you will jump from job to job. And this is not a good sign for if you want to become shine, if you want to be a real employee. They look at it. Oh, he already changed 5 times jobs, this and this and this. Oh, we don't like that. We need somebody who's committed to our business. So they always look at the newcomers from school and they trick them into a shine position, and they work for nothing and do all the work. And that is the big, and they raise, it's always so here, the first, you have to get, when you are hired, you have to get your salary you want in 2 years. Don't say, oh, if I do this and this, I want to have a salary raise. You don't get a salary raise, you probably get a salary raise diminishment. They lower the salary here in Japan. So you have to always, if you want a salary, to go higher than you want, because you will never get a salary, and especially as a hakken. Because then they think, oh, you just quit the job and go to work somewhere else. And for a shine, the only way that people choose this job is because they want to marry, they want to have the foundation for a family. But they have to pay the price that means that the husband and the both have to work because the shine salary is so low. So this is not good. And in Japan, the politics and the companies are very two hands on one stomach. So that they work together very much, and this is not good. You also see it now in all over the world. Just look at the things happening all around the economy. Doesn't matter if you're what older like me, like 50, 40, you can remember your father and your mother. Did your mother work? Probably not, only your father. And that income was not so big, and you could pay everything. Houses were, I can remember, it was only 10,000 euros or less. $20,000. This same house now sells for $250,000. Can you imagine? It's 25 times more. So that's the deflation of the money. And if you look at the salary that my father earned and what the people now earn in the same position, it is not 25 times. It is maybe 2 times or 3 times. And this is the big problem. People don't get paid what they really earned, what they really need, what they really earning. And the money goes to the company. And this is, of course, logical that this happens. You see the billionaires. So if there are a few rich people, this money is because of this. And are those people bad? No, because if you got the chance to start a business and become a billionaire or millionaire, you would do it. So why are you not doing it? This has to do with education. People in Europe, be happy what you have. Earn nothing. You will earn nothing and still be happy. That is the WF logo. And that is all the rich people and the powerful people all want the normal people to think this and do this, because they are in a powerful situation and don't want to lose it. And if people are really thinking, oh, wait a minute, if I wanted to change my situation, I have to start my own business. I have to do this and this. I don't want to work for a big company. I want to start my own business. I want to do my own stuff and take a chance to become rich. This is so, and then you threaten all these institutes, and this is what they, of course, don't want. They don't want the mediocre people to become wealthy or have a chance to do things. But this also cuts the innovation, of course. So now you see some companies, the people will have more chance. I also advise an engineer, if you can start, you see it also in America, if you are an engineer and you're good, it is better to start your own company and do your own research than work for a company, because you will not be respected. And this is also has to do with management. Everything is managed. And we see the COVID, and you see other diseases, other problems like climate change. And if you look really, and I was thinking yesterday, I was looking at Sam Harris with Lexman, the broadcast, and he was talking, and I didn't recognize him almost. He was so soft. He was so careful. And then and he was talking about experts, and I had to laugh. And then I made the connection, and now I know what it is, because I worked at IT, and when I worked in IT, we could not find management. Because every engineer was needed to do the engineering work and the management. You take a history teacher and put it as the top of the IT department. It works. You just need somebody to communicate to and above and do the job assignment. Now, even with because they were so frustrated, they solved it by agile. So now they can manage themselves, but they didn't remove the management structure because they need the management structure because they need the management structure. It's the same with the coconut tree. Yeah, if you have like what I had an example for the banking. You have an island with only 100 coconut tree, and that's your payment. After 5 years, you make them in paper, and after 10 years, there is no coconut tree on the island, but only the paper is there, and they still work with this system of coconuts trading, and nobody's seen in their whole life a coconut. And this is the same thing what you will see with IT. They are just continuing things as long as it works. And this is what with IT and with all those scientists, they all want to go into the higher echelon of management. A Fauci and look at the government here in the Netherlands or other people that advisory. Are they experts? Are they managers? And you know the role. If you are like an IT guy or you're an engineer, you know what a manager is. Yeah. You can be very lucky that you have an engineer that became a manager that understands your situation. But 99% of the time, it's in BAA. It's somebody who did business school and he runs the department. And he doesn't look at the technical stuff. He just looks at the numbers, the profit, what goes in, what goes out, and how to optimize it. And if they cannot do it here, we outsource it cheaper. And this is the way everything is now done. If you talk about a climate specialist, it is a climate management specialist. It is not somebody who really knows about climate change. There's not really a doctor about talking about COVID. Are the head of hospitals, it are the head of pharmacists, it are managers that are all talking. And managers, if you know, don't have so much knowledge. Now you think, okay, why didn't the doctors, etc., for COVID, for example, speak up? Now, I live in Japan, and the first contact we had here with COVID was the ship, the Princess or something, and there was an emergency call there from a Japanese doctor. He said what was really going on. And my wife and me looked at it, and we looked also at the releases of when the vaccine came, and we decided, wait a minute, this smells strange. So, if you really look into, if you are a doctor or you are a specialist of something or an AI specialist and you look at really the paper stuff, you understand what's going on and you make your own decisions. But there is also this social pressure. You can imagine that if all the people, all the doctors and all the hospital people are following a specific way, and you find out maybe this is not the correct way. Wait a minute. If I read this is a little bit strange. Maybe, and then you ask why. And they say, yes, just do it. We all do it. This is from above. But these are managers. And maybe they got a bonus extra or they got an incentive. Just do this. We like the pharmacist says, okay, we want to sell more drugs or more stuff. We push it with some management plan or some commercial plan to these doctors. And they promote it. And then everybody, it will work and everybody use our product and we make more profit. This is also with everything, with you can imagine with the climate or with everything. It is all about pushing a product so they can make more money. They are businesses. It is normal. So this is also, but if you are really looking at it, is this really the solution? Is climate change really made by humans or is it something else? Or does a windmill really produce more energy or is it more effective than a normal power plant? Or what is solar? Is it better or is it a solution or not? And if it is a solution, why is nobody using it or why is it so strange? They don't want you to think. They have already the solution. That's how they make money. That is the money plan. They made a plan. This is how we make money. And this is what we have to push to the people. And people follow it. And then we can make money and we can calculate. This is all management, all BIA, all thought out of. And everybody has to follow that plan. And I think that is the big... So people get managed by managers. That is maybe also now what Meta says. He says there are managers that manage managers that to manage managers. So it is all management of management. And where are the experts? They are at the bottom. And now they with AI, they only need 10 times less the experts. So you can imagine that there will be more and more managers now. But the only way to solve it is that everybody starts their own company and become their own management, or if management is not needed. But you will see a lot of companies with a lot of management overhead that is really not needed. But they will make a lot of money, so they need the money for something. So they will push it into the management, of course. So, so we have a problem of management that manage managers. And also, I don't think we will see an AI or some tools that will replace these people. So this problem we have with banking, the problem we have with climate change, the problem we have with money, the problem we have with drugs and diseases, how they are solved and how they will continue if we don't pick up this problem with management. And that also means look at who is in the politics. There are all managers. This whole culture of managers and pushing the blame to somewhere else, and at the end try to accuse an expert that he was wrong, and the experts that were right, you say also that are wrong, and later you say, yeah, maybe they were right, but now we know it. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that were correct. There are some theories or conspiracies, and later they are correct. They never make an excuse to these people. Yeah. We remember the old times that the church said that the earth is the center of the universe and the sun rotates around the earth. The earth is flat. We laugh now about it. Yeah, this is not true, of course not. The person that said the first time, they thought he was crazy. That was the guy, the same that says the virus escaped from the lab. We don't know if it's correct, but just imagine he is correct. We all laugh at it. And at that time, the guy who said, no, the earth rotates around the sun. That is the same. They all laughed about it. So we learned nothing. We are the same stupid people. Humanity is still the same, and we are still controlled by mass communication and mass management. And this is what all the people in power are studying. This is the trick. This is the way you influence opinion and influence people and communities. This is the way. You make this social behavior, this group behavior, you study, and you try to influence that, and also find a way to make money out of this. And this is all what this business is about these days. This basis is management, is a manager of everything. Yeah. And at the end, it is managing of the end user. If you can influence the end user, you say what is good or not good, and what he has to buy or what not has to buy, and what he gets to see or what he gets to hear. And so they have filters now on social media. They only see the things they want to see, and they show you the products you want. They have and they want you to buy. Yeah. You can imagine that people on the right buy specific products, people on the left buy specific products. Why? Because if they are in those chambers, they see those things, and it has to do. It is all business, and that is something people have to wake up to. And I think AI can make it worse. They can split these people can live really in their own world with these AIs. They can create everything, and you will think that is the truth or that is correct, but this is of course not correct. But we have to wake up. We people. There is this everything everywhere. The Matrix. There are some movies that shows us, hey, look, take a step back from your life and look what the world is really about. So we see this war in Ukraine. We see the blowing up of the pipeline. We see the murder of Abesan. The third bullet is still not found. Hey, this looks like AFK. Is somebody behind it? I can make a whole podcast, a whole series of podcasts about what happened with Abesan and what was maybe the real thing. There's a really big conspiracy here in Japan about it, and you will fall from your chair if you hear it. The same thing if you will fall from your chair what is going on with Germany and Russia gas and the bombing of the pipeline there. You will not even believe it. Yeah, and there are much more things. What happened in Ukraine, what happened with Russia what happened between Germany, like Merkel and the previous chancellor, and Putin. What happened with the NATO. All those things, if you really look at it, if you really search on internet and you write a book about it, do it. Use Bing or use an AI and ask you what happened with NATO expansion. Look into if a normal person can do this, and we all can see what's going on. We will see, for example, that the Netherlands was against the Ukraine participating in Europe, and the government just jumped over it, just ignored it, and just did what the rest of Europe did. And then you find out that they suggested the Netherlands, the government suggested Ukraine to join. So it comes from the top. Then they ask the people, they are against, and they just ignore it, and they just follow. And they say that is what the European Union decided. But in reality, it is their idea. It comes from them. They push it into Euro. Then they ask back to the people. Then they say, oh, we cannot do it because the Euro already decided this. It is sorry. But in reality, in the beginning, many years before, they were the initiative of this change. And they just need the excuse for the people. Sorry, we tried, but it's now we are European, so we cannot do it. And there's a lot of things in there. People are trying. There are a lot of plans that are made years before we know. The whole thing about Russia, how the development of what happened after the fall of Russia and even after the moon landing. There is a lot of thinking there. There are think tanks. There are people specialized in geopolitics and in situations. How can we fight against Russia? How can we fight against China? What must we do with Taiwan? This is not something that Biden or a president or a minister at the EU just thinks about. Oh, this year we decide to do this. These are plans that thought about 10, 20 years ago. And then we say the Bilderberg Group, and we have the WSF and all those meetings, and we see this conspiracy. If you look at the agendas of those meetings, those things they talked 10 years ago are playing now. So they are already long time busy with this. And this is, of course, like management. If you work for a company or a bank, the management already knows that it goes bankrupt and they sell their stock. If they are working for a normal company, IT company, and they know it is going wrong and they want to dump the project, they move their best employees out of that department that will be fired. This is all normal. So don't expect that they don't do it on politics level, because they are the same people. They are managers. And if you look at the psychological profile of a manager, you will just do it. Just look it up. What are the best managers or what are the best bank traders? Those people you don't want to have in your family. Those are the crazy people. They have to really jump over bodies. They have to make sacrifices to reach their goals, because the goals are set in the beginning. They want to achieve. Sometimes to achieve that, you have to go over. You have to do sacrifices. As long as it is not you and your friends, you sacrifice everybody else. And you get your goal and you get your bonus and you did your job. And you can say, look, this was planned 5 years ago. We reached it. Okay, we destroyed the whole company. And I got my bonus and I left the company. And 5 years later, the whole company imploded because what I did. But I reached my goal. I did what I said. Not thinking about in the future. And this is the same. This is a big mistake also for politics. They think only for how long they are at power, 4 years, 8 years, or how the party. And this is the same at companies. If you have an interim, if you have like you're outside of the America and you have like a Japanese office and there's an American for 4 years there, he only thinks for 4 years. As long as he's there, he wants to reach his goal. And beginning of when he's there, he has a goal. He wants to achieve it. Doesn't matter if the whole after that everything imploded. He will be the successful manager that left the Japanese office and went to another office in Europe or somewhere, and there he can tell, oh, I reached this. Few years later, everything collapses, and say, yeah, this guy doesn't know how to do it. It's the beginning. He has to learn. He will correct it later and pick it up later. That is exactly what people wreck everything behind them, and they don't care. And now in the Netherlands, you can even see it worse. What they do the same thing. Then they say, okay, let's do elections, and they choose the same person. And this guy will not clean up what he made the mess before. He just ignores it and continues. So these problems will never be resolved because it is a bad look back for them. And that is what is the problem with if you have a leader that every time or if you have two parties or you have a power center, they will never issue the problems they made. They just ignore it because they are ashamed for it. And this is a problem. If you want to change something, you have to, if you have a bad wheat, you have to not put out the flower, or you're not, because it is the seed. No. You have to put out the whole plant with leaves. No. You have to put it without the root. Everything. The flower, the leaves, the stem, the root, everything has to be pulled out. And if you find some seeds there, you have to also clean it up. So if you want to make a change for big old companies, you have to get the root of this, you have to get the leaves, the seeds, everybody has to be removed. Then you plant your new seed with fertile ground, with example, with cash or with money, and let it grow and start this new initiative inside of your company. And that's how you grow and how you pivot. You cannot pivot if the whole field is full with weeds and you plant there a seed. It will die. Those other will eat up all the nutrition around it. So it will eat up all your resources to make this new project a success. This new seed wants to develop, but it cannot develop because around it will suck up all the energy it needs to develop. And this is exactly what you see in companies. This is exactly what you see in a government. For example, you have somebody who's new inspiration, but the departments under this power center are all weeds. They're all the old power. They not give the new seed a chance. They will rather kill it and save their own position, their own weeds, more important for them than for the new flower. So that's where I want to stop. I will make more like the gardener with Peter Sellers. Maybe we have to talk more about politics, banking, and compare it with the garden. That would be a nice thing. Also, money. We can maybe let me think about it if we can make this a sort of a comparison with gardens, because I know a lot about gardens, and it is a very understandable and light, very easy to understand. Until now, if people know about gardens and about seeds and about plants, it's easy to understand, and you can make a very simple comparisons because the cycle of life we find it out in technology. Everything is the same. The golden ratio. Most of the processes we find in technology, we find in physics, we find also back in nature. The way a flower rotates, how a tree grows its branches. This is all mathematical. This is all what we see also in a normal physics world, etc., etc. And you can make it very easily with plants or with very simple things to explain in nature. The behavior of a cat and a dog you can use to behavior of different groups of people. A dog comes out, there will always be a dog, a cat will always be a cat. They can live together. The cat will maybe think that he is a dog, but after a few years he knows that he's a cat and he behaves as a cat. So if you are a specific human, you always go back to your roots. It's in your genes and you cannot do anything about it. So let me stop here. 2 days later, I think I can upload it as a podcast to the podcasting. But this one was almost over 30 minutes, and I hope people enjoyed it. And I will do more talks about it, more light talk. I think this is a nice idea. See you. Let me stop. How can I stop here? End stream. And